You know, this could be FFA jacket part 2. I'm in the old house where my dad grew up in. We're looking at tearing this down this year. It's got to come down. The roof here in the kitchen has caved in. And floor's getting weak here. Just notice this here now, there's a hole right there. So like I said, this has got to come down, but trying to get stuff out of here. Like my wife, she wants this cabinet, which was in that back room around the corner there. Surprised it hasn't been ruined yet. And that's what we got to do here first, get some of the stuff that's worth something out of here. But like I said, I know somewhere my dad's FFA jacket is, but I can't find it. It's got to be over in the house there somewhere. I'm pretty sure my mom had it at one time. But we found these. Now this is my uncle's jacket. And I ain't sure about why that is. If that's the way they were. This jacket is at least 70 years old. My uncle is either going to be 90 or 91 this year. So if he wore this as a senior, it was at least 72 years ago. And like I said, I don't know if this designates something special being in the FFA. Excuse me. Or if that's the way the jackets were prior to that time. But you know, the emblem hasn't changed all that much. I think it's a little more detailed now. I don't have my jacket. Like I said, mine's over 30 years old. See how much it's changed. That's what this jacket was back in the 40s anyhow. So like I said, it's over 70 years old. And then I was thinking thought this one might be my dad's, but it's got to be newer with a zipper and not as detailed on it. And they say it's a little bit crisper. Let's see, you compare the two emblems. They say it's a little bit higher quality detailing, I think. Yeah, see, this one only's got, yeah, the owl ain't as detailed. It's only got the sun and a few rays. And I see that's different. That's a little more detailed, and that's a little bit plain. You can see this one here, it's got more detail in the eagle and the shield, more rays in the sun. The corn's a little bit more detailed. So I say this is a lot newer jacket. And my dad was older. My dad would have been 92 next month. But I can just make out the name on there. That's the neighbor's jacket. So I don't know how we have that. They say I have an uncle that's younger than this uncle. And I don't know if he was ever in the FFA or not. But yeah, I say this is the way the jackets were back in the, like say, 70 years ago. Snaps on them. And like I say, I don't know if that's, like I say, if that was the way the detail was, or like I say, if that designates something. I know after I graduated, one of the girls in my class, or not my class, but a couple classes behind me, she had a white jacket she wore and it said Chapter Sweetheart on it. So I know they have different jackets for different things. So, but that's a little bit more, like I said, I found them. But like I said, we're trying to figure out what we got to get out of here. If I can ever get anybody to change it or tear this house down. Because like I said, this is where my dad grew up. And back in mid-60s, he brought up the farm around the corner where we have our heifers. And I don't know if he ever lived there or not. Him and my mom got married in '68. And then I say until that point, or 68, 69, 70, at some point there, they abandoned this house. And my two uncles and my two aunts, which were my dad's brothers and sisters, moved over into where our heifer barn is, where my two uncles still live. And my dad was renting that house over there. And that's where I grew up after my mom and dad got married. But like I said, I don't know if until that point he lived over there with them, you know, at what point they moved out. I'm pretty sure they were still living here when I was born. Because my grandmother was still alive. And I think they were in this house at least until she was, as long as she was alive. But we almost had to move back to this house back in the early 80s. We built that addition, or my dad did, built that addition back there because they were renting that house across the road and the landlord didn't pay the taxes on it, so it went up for sheriff's sale. And it had to be cash money, and my dad wasn't able to buy it at the sheriff's sale, so we were going to have to move. And what that is back there is 2 more bedrooms and a bathroom, because all this house had was an outhouse. The only running water was the kitchen sink. So they started to build that, and then in the meantime, the guy that actually bought that house and property over there was with one of the gas companies at the time. There's Cross and Meridian. And one of them companies, I don't know which one it was at the time, bought that property. Well, they weren't interested in the property, they were just interested in drilling for the gas. So they sold the property to my dad. So we own that, but they kept the gas and oil rights. And in the end, they never did drill a gas well. You know, they had it marked out, and my dad questioned something about it. Next thing, they were going to sue him for lost production, this and that and the other thing. Well, by the time it was all done, yeah, they had the gas and mineral rights, but they don't have the surface rights. So how are you going to drill a gas well unless you put it on the ground? I mean, you're not going to suspend it from helicopters. And then the other thing was, the main thing why they never did drill, was the guy that bought this, so I don't know which company, say he was with Meridian, all the other gas wells around here were Cross. So they were going to have to go across several neighbors to get up to the main road to tie into their pipeline up there. And the one neighbor was going to let them through, but when he found out my dad wasn't going to get nothing out of this, he wouldn't let them go through. And he was only letting them through to help a neighbor out. He didn't want them to go across his property. So in the end, like I say, they never drilled. And I don't know, like I say, there's been talk off and on about that Marcellus shale. I don't know if it's up in this area or not, but they were going to drill deeper and something. I don't think anything's going to ever happen. But if it does, I don't even know if we could sign a lease to drill, because as far as I know, we still don't own the gas and mineral rights. So like I say, nobody's been in this house since the 60s, or yeah, since the late 60s anyhow. Yeah, like I say, there's some stuff in here. Like I say, my wife wants this cabinet. There's another one she took out of here. There's some stuff down in there. You know, I don't know if that potbelly stove's worth anything. I mean, it's just decoration. I don't think it's all that bad. I say it probably is rusted. This is the main thing I think's worth something. Cabinet with a desk. Story I heard, they bought this at a farm sale just down the road here, like back in 1919 or 1920, somewhere in there. Maybe early 20s anyhow. But I don't know, like I say, if it's any high-end thing. I mean, it's got a lot of detailing, curved glass. But sitting in here all these years, it's warped. I don't know if it's anything that you can fix or salvage. I'm trying to get my wife, she knows somebody deals in antiques. I'm trying to get them over here to look at this, see if it's worth trying to do anything with, because I don't want to have to move it somewhere and then find out it's not worth nothing. I'd just rather, you know, if it's worth $100, it can lay there and get smashed with everything else. But yeah, this house, there's just a loft on each side of the stairs here. There's a bedroom up in that corner. And this room here Somebody's bedroom at one time. Like I said, that room off the bedroom, I don't know if that was a bedroom at one time. You know, just a dirt floor basement. Okay, really much stuff. Somewhere there's an accordion in here. It's supposed to be a violin, I guess, too, and a bugle, but we haven't been able to find them. And I doubt if they're going to be worth much now after all these years. Sewing machine there, I guess that's pretty good. You know, you rip these doors off. You know, you can always make something out of them doors, salvage them. You know, anybody want an old Atari computer? Video game? They said it ain't a whole lot worth much in here, but yeah, it's the addition we built onto it. Like I said, nobody being in there, the foundation's cracking and shifting. Yeah, like I say, never framed. All it's been is framed in. We never put up any drywall or anything in there. I was worth trying to salvage them 2x4s in there. I mean, it's only been nailed top and bottom. Other than that, they're good 2x4s. You know, that wall's shifting off the foundation. The rocks are busting out. That whole roof on this side's caved in over the kitchen. I'm surprised the township hasn't said something about it yet. They're good for bitching about that shit. And that neighbor on the other road there, they fined him for 2 or 3 years to get him to tear down an old house. He didn't care, and kids didn't know nothing about it. And now they tore down the house and the barn, and the shit grows up here. Woodchuck holes in there. So, I think I want off the house here. Should have tore it down years ago. The roof was all rotted off. My uncle's re-roofed it. Put all new sheet metal on this side. And on the addition here, that roof was completely gone. But all I want, you know, I was get my nephew, he works for a roofing company, get that sheet metal off there. I mean, that's only 10 or 15 years old. And use it to put on the end of the barn there or something that's starting to deteriorate. Boards are getting bad. Help them close that in. But yeah, like I say, I just thought I'd show that jacket there. And a little bit on the evolution of how we moved around here. I probably could go ask my uncle about that jacket. He's still alive. Like he's going to be 90 or 91 this year. I think 91. And I'm sure he could tell me all about it. I'm not sure if he's got Alzheimer's or dementia or what, but you can have the same conversation with him 3 times in 15 minutes about something that happened yesterday. But he can tell you right to the day what happened back in 1950 and this and that. So I'm not sure which that indicates, but so he might know more about that jacket. So like I said, I'd have to look, see where. Like I said, I'm almost certain my mom had my dad's jacket somewhere. I don't know how the hell we ended up with the neighbor's jacket, but so that's what I'm going to do this week. Maybe go talk to the township. I think there's a form we have to fill out or something. Basically, all it is, I'm not going to say it's a permit to take it down, but I know there's something we got to fill out so the house gets taken off the tax records. And I want to find out whether. I did talk to a guy here a couple of years ago, and he was talking about just crushing this down in the basement and burying it and covering it up. And so I gotta find out if that's something we can do or if it's gotta be tore down and hauled out. Kind of rather would have it hauled out, but you know, so. But it's a matter of finding somebody to do it. The guy that I talked to here originally, when he offered to do it, he's no longer in the business. He sold it last year. So I talked to him last year about doing this. And the guy that bought the business, he had him come out, and he was going to check with the township, find out what needed to be done, and I've never heard back from him. So as far as I'm concerned, you can kiss my ass. I'm getting tired of that, asking somebody for something and they don't show up. Don't get back to you. You got to hunt them down all the time. I'm pissed here right now. A guy finally called me. I wanted to get that concrete in that barn re-grooved. Talked to the guy back in June. I'll get it on the books. Never heard back from him. Called me the other day, left a message that I see you're not crossed off the list, so I thought we did it. Did we do it or not? Just let me know. Well, no, you didn't do it, and I don't have the money to do it now. I had the money saved, and you drag your ass, I'll use it somewhere else. So, I'm debating whether I'm going to call him back and tell him that, or just ignore him like he ignored me. So, thanks for watching, and well, got another video I want to make here yet today, so post it here in a day or two. So thanks for watching. We'll catch up with you later.